Hello, family of the world. How is everyone today? Zachariah here, living healthy and wealthy. What today's subject is going to be on is something that I think is very important for us all to understand is dogs. Whether you have one, you don't have one, whether you're going to get one, but at least to understand, have an understanding of how they see the world. All animals actually, they work on instinct. Now, us humans are different. We don't work on instinct. We have higher faculties. We have the will, intuition, imagination, reason, memory, perception, whereas animals work purely on instinct. And dogs, which we're going to be discussing today, so I'll keep more on that side of it. Their instinct is fight. I'm sure you've heard this before, fight or flight. Fight, flight, or surrender. And surrender is where we want our dogs to be living. In surrendering to the situation. Surrendering means surrendering, relaxing, not fighting, not running away. So yeah, what this means is in every moment when something happens, they live in the moment. You know, anything after 2 seconds, they've pretty much forgotten about it, and they're just living in the moment and feeling the energy, and living on the instinct in every moment what to do, whether to fight, flight, surrender. And basically that's it. That's what we got to remember, and that's going to help us understand how to communicate with our dogs and why they're doing the things they're doing. For example, we go to get a dog. We go to a dog pound, and instantly we feel, sorry for the dog. Like, the poor doggy, the poor thing. Look, he's had a hard life. He's been stuck in this home, or he's been stuck in a cage, and so straight away, our feeling is like feeling sorry for him and poor thing, and I'll take care of you. Come on, come home with me. It's all right. I'm going to take care of everything. You just relax. Here's your food. Here's your nice warm bed. And to us, into the human, no, we have reason. We can reason and think, okay, he's come from a bad place, and now I've given him a nice place. So if you think about that within reason, like, well, the dog should be, grateful for that, and like be loving back to you. But the way the dogs works on an instinct, what's the instinct? If there's a weak animal or a weak energy, what happens in nature? You watch any single animal show on whether it be on lions, monkeys, cows, basically anything. If there's a weak member, they get left behind or attacked even, and pushed away. And particularly in dogs. Have you ever seen dogs, like when they meet each other or anything, go up and go, oh, wow, and act like that? No, they don't. Their instinct straight away is to feel where they are with each other, who's above who, because that's in the pack. That's how it is. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's a pecking order, so to speak, a pack order. So they're not reasoning and thinking, okay, this person's taken me out of that place and taken me to another place. They're seeing how you are, how your energy is, how are you being. So if you're taking it home being, oh, poor thing, here, have this, have the whole house to yourself, get up on the couch, do whatever you want. There's no rules, there's no structure, there's no one leading, taking control of anything. So instinctively, they will say, okay, well, there's no one taking control here. I'm going to have to take control then. But of course, in this world of cars and phones and houses and, traffic and everything, they can't. They don't have the mind to do that. Whereas we have the mind, the ability to understand how a dog communicates and acts, and, so we have the ability. We've got to think. We've got to use our mind and think, watch, observe how do animals act, how do the dogs act amongst each other. Like I say, when dogs first meet, unless they're young puppies, they don't just go up and start jumping all over each other and like playing and stuff straight away, do they? They come up, have a smell. Their nose is their number one thing. Make sure with your dogs you're always using the smell first as well. Like if they're not smelling, if they're using their eyes or their ears, that's when they can go into more aggression. So smell is very important. But anyway, first they smell each other first, and then sort of maybe walk around each other a bit and see who's got the higher energy. Basically, that's what they're doing, seeing where the structure is, feeling their energy. And then after that, they might start to play, depending on how old they are, or the older one will stand there like and growl at it, or put the other one in its place. So we've got to understand this when we bring dogs home, that they're a pack animal and they're looking for where your energy's at. So when you first bring a dog home, or even if you've got a dog, they live in the moment and they will change straight away. If you change your energy, if you like stand up and be firm and say, no, this is the way it is. You know what I mean? I'm the leader here and we're going forward. We're going on a walk now. You don't go on the couch. You don't go here, because in nature as well, they have their territory. They go around in the morning, do their walk, pee on their territory, and they know if someone else comes into their territory, there's going to be a fight, basically. They're going to be attacked. There's going to be a fight go on, or if they go into someone else's territory, they're going to get attacked. They know that. So they understand rules and boundaries. All of nature does. So it's up to us to put the rules, the boundaries, the limitations, and remember how they act. They're acting in the moment, and they're acting in instinct. Okay? Fight or flight, surrender. You come home, if you left your dog out and it's in the lounge room or whatever and it's ripped up the couch, you come home and yell at it, you think, oh, he understands what's going on. No, he understands that you're like angry. So he's like, goes into flight mode, like, bows his head like, oh, sorry, sort of thing, like, not knowing what's going on, just, sorry, what's going on here? Like his instinct is to surrender. He doesn't understand that, like, he ripped up that couch. You know what I mean? He doesn't have the reason, he doesn't have the intuition, he can't feel that, you know what I mean? And then what's happening is then we cause a problem with the dog and he doesn't understand, you don't understand him. He knows what then you go out and he does it again. You know what I mean? He doesn't understand that. So that's another really important fact as well. When you have a dog, one of the most important tools I've ever found is a howler, like a case, a travel case. When you go traveling, you have these crates, a travel crate. Because I've worked with dogs my whole life. Ever since I was born, my dad had dogs. I'm a qualified dog trainer. I've had at some stages up to 15 dogs. I've had pit bulls, German shepherds, chihuahuas, all sorts of dogs. They've done many studies on dogs. The breed pretty much doesn't make any difference to how they behave. It's very little. The main behavior factor is how they're brought up, is the humans that they're with. They did a study of like 50,000 dogs, all sorts, chihuahuas, pit bulls, German shepherds, Labradors. And they found that depending if the owner was a strong leader, in all breeds, they didn't have a problem. If the owner wasn't the leader, basically, and just like didn't understand and just let the dog do what it wanted to do without any rules, there was problems. They'll become aggressive. Like I say, if you're not the leader, they will just become the leader, and that's it. And then if someone comes up to you and the leader didn't say that this other person could come into our pack, they're going to like rah, 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 start barking at them, going off, because they're saying, hey, stay away from my pack, basically. What are you doing coming in close to my human? My human doesn't understand what's going on. It's afraid, so I'm here to take care of it, basically. So that's where all these problems come about. So we've got to be the strong leader. It's just about being firm. You don't have to be mean and aggressive, but you do have to like stand your ground and say, no, you can't go on the couch. No, when you go for a walk, don't let them pee everywhere. Keep them on the lead. Don't let them pee on all the corners. It's disgusting. All these people letting their dogs pee on all the houses and on all the corners. As well, that's the dog's like marking its territory. If you control and don't let them pee there, you let them only pee on like where there's some dirt or some grass, that's another thing that's showing that you're the leader. You're controlling where they go to the toilet. That's particularly marking with their pee, particularly males. So you only let them pee where you say they can pee. Remember that they work in instinct, and be firm, and first is respect. You bring a dog home, it's not straight. Just because you give them love they're not going to like give you love back. They're going to, if you give them love in a like a human way, like I was saying, poor thing, or it's just a little puppy. Look how cute he is. It's so cute though. I can't tell him, oh, look how cute. Man, their instinct is, you're a weak, I'm going to like be on top, basically. And that's, so this is something I really think everyone needs to understand. And if you don't have a dog, or if you're scared of dogs, or when you're out walking and a dog comes up to you or whatever, barking at you, same thing, stand your ground. Hey, what? Just stand there. If there's dogs coming up to you and you feel afraid or something, bend down and pick up a rock, or pretend that you're picking up a rock. Most dogs instinctively will know they're going to throw something, and they'll go away and they'll back off. So yeah, remember, they work on instinct: fight, flight, surrender. We want our dogs to be in surrender. Once you're a strong, firm leader, your dog will just surrender. They have no problem at all of being a follower, of being underneath you. In fact, they love it, they prefer it. Every dog I've had, get a cage, take your dog for a crate, take your dog for a big walk, come home, put it in the crate. They're used to sleeping 8, 9, 10 hours a day. They do that in nature. They'll go hunt or go walk, mark their territory, come back to their cave, because they're used to being in a den. They dig holes, they live in the ground, or find a cave and live in there, in amongst the little rocks. That's where they have their puppies. That's where they're used to being in a small area. So if you give them a cage, their howler, their crate, they will go back to there. Every single dog I've seen and suggested to my family, to my friends, to people I've worked with, has always, then they love it. They go back to their crate, and you put their little bed in there, just big enough for them to lay in, so they can't run around in there or nothing. They'll go in there and lay there and sleep. At first, obviously, you close the door or whatever, but then even when you're in the house, so they're not just following you everywhere. You know what I mean? Because if they're just following you, and that's a way of like controlling and everything as well, keep them in the crate. As long as you exercise them every day, they've got no problem with that. Give them plenty of exercise. You lead the walk. Take them on a walk, and remember that they're working on instinct. They're not thinking. They're not rationalizing. They're not analyzing. They're just living in the moment and living through instinct. So I hope this has helped you all. And any questions, feel free to comment, or if you want a one-on-one, we can speak through email. Like I say, I've had many years of experience with many dogs. They work on instinct. Be firm. Don't treat them like humans. They're not human. That comes after years. Right? Once you've built up the respect and the understanding, then you can start over time being, more loving but from the start, respect and understanding. Once you have this respect and the dog sees that you understand how it thinks and how it acts, the communication just gets so much better. Then you can really communicate with it, and not so much talking, you know what I mean? Not so, oh, come on, do, because all this talking, they're trying to work it out, and can make them literally crazy. I've seen many dogs, because the people talk to it, come on, Johnny, let's go for a walk, we're going to do this now, don't do that, and the dog's just like, what, just yes, no, over time, sit, stay. But first is the connection. Sit and stay and all that sort of stuff comes over time. At first, you control it, keep it on the lead, keep it like behind you, keep it under your control. And honestly, you do this for 6 months, a year, then you'll have, once it's like inbred, like the operant conditioning, it's conditioned, and they see that's how they work with you and in this world, then you have the rest of your 15 years of a good dog. If you just let it go and just whatever, and let it do whatever, and let it jump up on people, and you're going to have a whole years and years of problems, and then people end up taking the dog back to the pound because they don't understand. They brought it home, I fed it, I feed it, and then now it's growling at me. I go to give it food and it gets aggressive at me. Yeah, because he's the leader and you're coming near your food. He doesn't rationalize that you just put the food down. You know what I mean? This is what we got to understand. They don't rationalize. They don't have reason. They live in instinct. If I'm the higher one in all animals, the pack leaders eat first. You watch lions, you watch ever. The big ones, the big guys, they'll eat. If another one comes up, they attack it and tell it to get away. Soon as they've had their fill, they walk off. The other ones come and eat. So if your dog feels that he's the leader because you've been treating him like a kid or like a little baby, and you put your food down and then you come close to it, he's going to say, hey man, I haven't finished yet. You wait your turn. You know what I mean? So you be firm, and it's going to be better for the whole world. You know, this is part of living healthy and wealthy. Being in connection with nature, being in connection with animals, being in connection with your dogs. And let's make this a better place and a better planet. And thank you all for listening. I hope this helps. Subscribe, like, share. Let's make a huge family that we can all communicate with each other. And I'm here for anyone who's got any problems, anything they need to ask or want to talk or anything. I'm here to help make this a better place for me, for you, for everyone, for our future. And together we can make a beautiful, beautiful planet. Thank you. Speak soon.